Eye on the Movies with Corey Brunish, an Oregon perspective on Hollywood, the pictures, and the people.
Fisher Stevens may not be a household name, but after 6 films and performances on Broadway, his star is definitely on the rise. His real name is Stephen Fisher, but that was already claimed by another actor, so it was Fisher Stevens who replaced Matthew Broderick on Broadway in the Neil Simon hit Brighton Beach Memoirs. His latest endeavor has been to play an Indian scientist in Short Circuit, a comedy starring Ali Sheedy, Steve Guttenberg, and a robot named Number 5. The film, made on location in Portland and Astoria last year, opens May 9th. Recently in Los Angeles, I spoke with Stevens about his work.
Your early aspirations were to be an athlete. Have you wanted to get your hands on a good athletic role now that you're an actor?
I would love it. That would be a dream of mine, to play like Robert Redford's role in The Natural or some athlete. I would love to just shoot a movie in a ballpark all day, you know, like a baseball player. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, it'd be another stretch, you know, because I'd have to condition myself and work out every day, but it would be great, yeah.
Most of your experience, both on Broadway and in films, has been in comedies. Are you anxious to get your teeth into a good dramatic role?
I think in film, yes, I've done mostly comedy, and I would love to do a really important drama, something very heavy, or, you know, a man deeply emotionally disturbed, or, you know, no, seriously though, something like that. That would be great for me.
Now, they say that comedy is harder. Is that true for you?
No, I don't find it harder. Well, in certain cases it is, you know, like with this role in Short Circuit, that was definitely the hardest comedy I've ever had to try and pull off. But on stage, I find sometimes, you know, if I have to really be going, you know, if I have to be just tearing and my life is a mess and I'm going to kill myself, I mean, every night to do that is very difficult, you know.
You did a lot of research for this role, from the point of getting a dialect coach to watching Passage to India. But some people, no matter how much study they do, just don't have an ear for dialects. When did you first discover that you...
The first real character foreign person I did was I did a Michael Bennett musical called Scandal, which never got off the ground, with Swoosie Kurtz and Treat Williams. And I worked on it for 8 months, and I was a French waiter from Paris, you know, and it was a great part, and I loved it, and I really got into him. And then Michael said, why don't you go to Paris for a couple of weeks? So I flew to Paris, and I started hanging out there, and unfortunately the show never got off the ground, but I really started, that was the first time that I started getting into that kind of accent type characters. Whatever.
Yeah, you do it very well. Yeah. You have an acting teacher in common with one of the co-stars, Steve Guttenberg, Uta Hagen.
Yeah.
How indispensable do you think you would be where you are if it weren't for your training?
No. But not just Uta, there's another guy, Dan Fosse, I studied with for 8 years. For me, you know, some actors are incredible. I'm working with Danny Stern right now, and I think he's a great actor, and he's told me he's never studied. How's that possible? You're really great, man. And there's others you can obviously tell he's never studied. You know, the guy's just not cutting it. You know, and but for me, it was the most important thing, because I would work on roles that I'd never get to do, like, you know, Death of a Salesman or O'Neill. You know, when I'm 14 years old, I'm working on Jamie and Long Day's Journey into Night. I mean, things like that, which you'd never get a chance to work on. So, and also the whole research thing. You know, like we shot in Portland, and where am I going to find Indians in Portland? I mean, I don't know anybody in Portland. How am I going to do this? And I needed to be around Indian people while I'm shooting this film. So actually, at the hotel we were staying at, the Marriott, we were in the pool, me and Steve and Allie, we were sitting down there in the whirlpool just relaxing, and all of a sudden I got out and I was like slipping. Oh, I heard someone say, be careful, don't trip yourself. And I'm going, oh my God. And I look, and it's this guy, Shanti Patel. I see his name says Patel, which is an Indian name. And I know, and I go, excuse me, sir, I'd like a word with you. So all of a sudden, I found this Indian guy working right at my hotel. So I pretended I was an Indian, and Shanti totally believed me. And the next day, I called him up, and he introduced me to the Javari family, Danish Javari, who's like works in the Indian consulate in Oregon or something like that. And they invited me into their home in Portland, and they took such great care of me, and I totally was learning all about Hinduism and the culture, and it was great. So they came on the set, and anyway, so that training. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even have known to contact these people, because they were very helpful to me in preparing for this role, because I wanted to be Indian. I mean, I wanted to be as real as possible, and they believe me, and if they believe me, I think any Americans will believe me, you know. Which is the key. So
it was fate.
It was fate. It was great. Yeah, Shanti writes me, and it's great. You know.
Do you think they'll be offended by any of the humor in this film?
I don't think so. No, I hope not. I mean, it's totally coming out of good intentions and to make people laugh. And you know, I don't think it's too offensive. There was times when I thought it was offensive and we didn't use it. You know, we'd cut it. You know, Allie was very good at that because she really didn't want anything offensive in the film. And maybe there's a couple moments. I think they're funny and they work. You know, I didn't mean to be offensive in any way. But.
Now, in your next role, you play a Hispanic?
Yeah, Mexican, from Mexico.
Do you think that Hispanic actors in Screen Actors Guild maybe are resentful that you're walking away with these roles?
I don't know. You know, when I auditioned for this role that I'm doing now, I was against Hispanic actors. I mean, they were there with me, you know, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not putting anybody down or saying anything. I just got it. I don't know how. I did some work on it, research, and now I've done a lot of research on it, you know, being a Mexican. And hopefully, I don't know, I hope nobody gets offended. But if there was a great Chicano actor, you know, who was up for an American and he got it, hey, that's cool. That's what I think. We're actors, you know, and that's what we're paid to do.
On later editions of Eye on the Movies, we'll chat with Short Circuit's director, John Badham, and star Ali Sheedy. In Los Angeles, keeping an eye on the movies, I'm Corey Brunish.